Hello, because you know this is how we start. Welcome to O.I.W Inc. It's your host with the most. I see these balls going around COP28, and videos such as this made this conversation interesting. It got a lot of people talking.
Majesty, Excellencies, all distinguished guests, if you wouldn't mind looking towards the media bank all at one time with a big smile, I'd be very grateful. Thank you so much.
She's blocking the president of Nigeria. Sir, she's blocking the president of Nigeria, so can she move a little bit? Thank you.
Do we all have fish?
This is yet another video that has to rally round on recycling, climate change, much more on climate change than recycling like we did the last time. Thank you so much to everyone who has hopped onto that last video. Thank you so much. It's O.I.W season in Nigeria, and you know your girl has to make an entrance, so that is why I have this my Kineko. And yeah, O.I.W season comes with a lot of celebration here in my beautiful country. For me, I'd want us to simmer down a little bit and do more of Thanksgiving, because the year came with a lot of challenges, like we all know. See, let me remove this big auntie and say it as it is in my heart. You know, when we are here, it's a conversation, so it has to be a lot more on the Thanksgiving side for us. I mean, just as little as this may seem, but it's a lot for me. Were we not here last week? When was it last week? When we sat down and had a little conversation, a chat on recycling and how it is tied to production. And then COP28 was right around the corner. So COP27 happened in Egypt last year. It went completely right under our noses. If you have not been listening to anything concerning climate change, you go even know say COP anything happened. And so it came and it went. And then the one of this year, is buzzing, and as I'm talking to you, it's still buzzing, especially here in Nigeria. So we live in a society where things will have to trend first before it gets any recognition whatsoever. So I am thankful for the fact that COP28 is getting the trend buzz that it is getting. We're still talking about it. A lot of people are bringing out points, and those points are what we will deal on. We will talk about in this video. When I say buzzing, videos like this are made it viral.
So critical steps to reduce methane emission by ensuring flat gas are eliminated. There's a huge penalty for that. There's equally a huge incentive to do so. The measures that we're taking here is a welcome development, no doubt about that. And we are with the leadership of UAE for the commitment so far.
And this, we're all over the internet. It made this conversation interesting. I am grateful that the talk on climate change is getting the buzz it needs, because not a lot of people care to know what climate is changing and how it is changing. Not many people actually believe in it. Most importantly, also, we all need to get aware, become aware of why our climate is changing, what we can do to help it, because yes, as we know, the earth is aging. I wish we would all understand the importance of this conversation on climate change, because as far as the greenhouse gas emissions blanket our atmosphere, as far as we use fossil fuel gases per second like we do, these things will always contribute to global warming and climate change. And until we come together to slow down the effect of this climate change, the world is slowly moving into a dead zone. What do I mean? Take it back from years down the line. We see how mankind has evolved. There's a lot of manufacturing going on now. There's a lot of crude exploration. There's a lot of deforestation.
there's a lot of usage of cars, and all these things are the fossil fuels we talk about. We can admire how our forefathers lived 100,000 years ago, but the truth of the matter is that as it is right now, each and every one of us have come to have a certain level of dependence on the use of fossil fuel. So the argument should not be to ban fossil fuel, but on how we can reduce the negative effects of fossil usage to our planet. Hello, please follow me through on this one so that we will understand it on a day-to-day basis. Nigeria is blessed with a lot of greenery and thick forests. Around the western side of the country, there are thick forests and lush vegetation. Do you know that there are men whose job it is to go into these thick forests to cut down the trees that our carpenters use as wood today? And I am talking thousands and thousands of trees cut every minute. This has nothing to do with the job of the man cutting the tree. This has a lot to do with the effect of what one tree cut down has on the environment. Don't tell me you are surprised when you see gas fumes from cars, from generators, from the manufacturings we do every day build up to form acidic rain. Let us not forget in a hurry the Port Harcourt black soot, which made air very unbreathable. Just take 2 minutes of your time to slow down and look at the beautiful earth that we live in. The truth of the matter is that a lot is happening so fast, and this may bring so much confusion because on one hand we are yet to discover thousands of organisms and also animals with interesting adaptive features. Meanwhile, on the other hand, there's a struggle to slow down the negative day-to-day living effects on our planet. Please, scholars in the house, come closer. We know that Earth is the only planet showing proof of life as at now, where life has thrived as much as it has. When I tell you that everything in our beautiful earth needs to be preserved, you will believe me. What you just saw is a fish that sings like a bird and a regular algae, but not so regular because it has the bioluminescence effect. You must have seen these things. Sadly, recent increase in ocean temperatures may kill these algae. This is what we are talking about. And if you're still in doubt, okay, let's look into the Great Salt Lake. At least this one, every ant and human on earth know that this lake has started drying up. If we take it more from the scientific aspect, we see reports from NASA showing other lakes that have started drying up as well. We see the melting of glaciers. We see effects of wildfire. This is not to confuse climate change and natural disasters. So the estimation is that scientists have started taking records on climate change from Earth since 1880. And these records are reaching high points as never before seen in recent times. And so for people who claim that some of these data and analytics are exaggerated, how would you exaggerate some of the day-to-day evidences that we see? Every aspect of nature as we know it is affected. So you on your own, if you sit down to observe the heat waves, the droughts, the typhoons, the wildfires and melting glaciers that we've had in recent times, you will know that there's a difference, an increase actually. Quoting the great Kumasi of Ghana, I hear my brothers shouting, "We need our own African solution." Yes, we do. Because even though the problem we share globally is climate change, we need a solution tailored to us. The article on screen did not put a lot of environmental factors into consideration before reaching its conclusion. We all agree that before clothing and shelter, food comes first. Feeding is number one. So let's look into it from the agricultural aspects here in Nigeria. So please do me a favor, approach a proper Nigerian farmer and listen to his tales. Only then will you understand the little changes that he has experienced over time on his farmland. He is the only one who will open your eyes as to the effects of what the increase in erosion crust, the dying vegetation, the shifts, yes, the shifts in our seasons, the rainy season and the dry season, that has come to affect his crop and his yield on a yearly basis. So we can stay here to say that climate change is not the result of our flooding, but that does not also say that climate change is not part of the reason why the flooding has come to become as dangerously deadly as we have seen it in 2023. Of course, for critics who are willing to go to the ends of the earth to find data to prove that climate change is not yet as dangerous as we are saying it is, you have to understand that the next wildfire will come. It will not wear a hat saying, "I am coming sent by climate change." It will come in the guise of what we know already. You see those disasters that we are having as challenges. Climate change will pose itself through these disasters. It will come as the typhoons we already know. The droughts, the heat waves, as you can see the spike in this graph on screen. The point is it will come as we know, but in increased degree. This is why countries like Japan is fighting for carbon neutral environment by 2050. So we see the need for world deliberations to happen on matters arising and issues on climate. Now that the summit is over, my hope is to see some of the declarations as written on screen shooting out positively by this time next year. One of the highlights for me this year has got to be seeing the Sultan and World Bank sit together discussing nothing else but finance targets for the climate change. See, without speaking long grammar, UAE was the best place to have been chosen for this year's summit because this Sultan has put his foot down to say that at least some of the declarations for this year, he will see to it that at least a lot of them are fulfilled. Of course, feel free to pause a bit and read through some of his famous quotes during this summit. Interestingly, there were other topics introduced at the summit. Topics on health, on loss and damage control. Did you take a minute to listen to Lady Jean de Arc's speech on gender responsive transitions and climate action? Topics on trade, where we have our beautiful Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and to capital, the fundraising. We saw countries like Japan, Germany, France all come together for collective fundraising. It is clear as daylight, over $57 billion have been raised. Climate silence is now not what we will stay in one corner to encourage. The ball should get rolling. With every degree of warming, a child born today faces a future where their health and well-being will be increasingly affected. Global population may also be fanning the flames for climate change. There are young Nigerians who are passionate about all things climate. See, I suggest we leave all this long talk for world leaders. Check out Global Temi. She is someone who points us to why we are not getting it as we should here in Nigeria. I mean, going by the need for youth party delegations and negotiations, we need people who are foot soldiers. We need people who are ready to teach and co-create with society. Yes, Global Temi was at this just concluded COP28 and she brought the issues at hand right front and center. There are so many people who are passionate for this cause but could not get that opportunity, and this is what we talk about. At this point, I will have to say that I don't tire to speak long grammar. This is Jennifer Uchendu, CEO of Saucy Vibes. I don't have to say too much. Just Google Saucy Vibes a little and you will see that she has been a warrior for the climate ever since day one. No need for too much talk. Her records stand tall right before her, coining familiar words like ecofeminism. See, if you leave me, I will talk about her as if she has paid me. Bottom line is that we need initiators, people who are here to lead and to show how to adapt and evolve rapidly on changes we face daily as human beings. Let us quickly take a look at the Scrap Art Museum. Yes, I talked about them in my last video. Here is a recycling genius doing wonders with recycled tires.
My name is Toib Ajayi.
So, our general takeaway from this whole talk is you see the simple acts we do every day to better our environment. Please do not stop. Beach cleaning, recycling, reusing, all those little things we look away from. Those little collective efforts that we think do not make any difference. Of course they do. In conclusion, recycling is so beautiful because 90% of what we use can be recycled, even asphalt. Taking it from this angle, we know the miracle the recycled asphalt will perform on our roads if only we will key into it. On that note, I leave you with this inspiring video.
The beautiful thing is that we are using recycled tires that have been converted into interlocking tiles. Look at it. You can roll on it, you can fall on this, you can bounce, almost. You can get it in different color. This one is not an advert. It's just telling you that we have to be environmentally conscious. This is tires. She has recycled over 5 million tires in Nigeria.